welcome to Sunday Reflections. It's Monday. I hope you've had a great weekend. I know there was all kinds of music being played in St. Augustine this past weekend, and the singer and songwriters are coming through this next week, and of the end of this week will be singers and songwriters, and Sing Out Loud was over the weekend. So I hope you enjoyed it all. It was we have such a music place. But today we're talking about something other than music. We're going to be talking about something that's there, and with Debbie Pigeon and Vicki D'Alessandro. Is that right? I got that okay? Alessandro? D'Alessandro?
Yes.
Yes,
Nice.
okay. All right. So we're going to do that, but as we do it all the time, we also have to, first of all, thank all of our sponsors. They have done so much for us. And the one today starts off with DJ's Clam Shack in St. Augustine, right downtown, and it's right off of Hippolytus Street, 21 Hippolytus Street. And they have the craving, fresh, flavorful seafood in the heart of historic St. Augustine. I know you all been down here, down with other places. Columbia's down the way. It's just all kinds of things here. And this is a place where Northeast meets Key West. And it was born in the Florida Keys, the DJ Clam Shack, and it rooted in New England tradition. DJ serves up lobster rolls, fried clams, conch fritters, and more. Made fresh, by the way, with the most highest quality ingredients of prices you'll love. So it's open every Tuesday through Sunday. I think it starts again on the 19th, so I think that we're coming up to that really pretty close now. And that's when you'll see it on that Tuesday. I think it's next week. To grab a bite, stroll the old streets, and taste one of the best seafood experiences in the entire country. So they're just there, and we thank them for being a sponsor for us today. And also, we also have shared with you so many times before with the Shee family. And we'd like to extend our heartfelt thanks to the Shee family, one of the most generous and community-focused families in St. Johns County. Through their work at the Tringali Barn, a premier event and wedding venues, and the leadership of Chris Shee, who I saw this past week, and the family continues to support and uplift countless local causes. That includes Alpha and Omega. Their commitment to giving back takes a lasting impact. And we are truly, truly grateful for all they do for the community. Thank you, the Shee family. You make St. Johns County a stronger and better place. So today, as we start off today, Debbie Pigeon is sitting right here with me. And Debbie, nice to meet you too. I hadn't met you before, and I know you work for somebody. Who do you work for?
I do. I work for Alpha Omega. I have
Alpha Omega and Miracle Home?
Miracle Home.
Okay,
Let's
I want
do
to make
that.
sure that I have the right place here.
Alpha Omega. Thank you. Alpha Omega Miracle Home. I have known the founder, Lisa, for over 15 years.
That's Lisa Franklin?
Lisa Franklin. Yeah, she's amazing. And so I've known her over 15 years. I worked for Alpha Omega Miracle Home about 14 years ago, and then took a little break to take care of my own family. And now I'm back and been back for close to a year and a half.
What's your job there at Alpha
I
Omega?
am a senior case manager.
What the heck does that mean? Tell me that. That's hard for me to understand that altogether, but maybe we'll figure it out today.
Well, first off, it's a blessing to do what I do. I don't feel like I'm at work. I really don't. I oversee our senior ladies that are in the Alpha Omega program. They are just precious women that God has sent to us. They have come to us by one way or the other, either being homeless or being close to homelessness, or in situations that are just not good for them.
Do they stay with other people?
They do. We our program. If you don't know much about Alpha Omega, I'll explain it. We are a transition home for women that are 18 to 28 that are single with children. And then we also have a senior program for women that are 60 and older.
Okay, let's stop there for a second, and let's go over here to Vicki. And Vicki, tell me a little bit about why you're here and what you're doing with Alpha Omega and the Miracle Home.
Well, I'm one of the seniors, obviously.
Okay, yeah.
I have a roommate, a single mom roommate with her little boy who's 2.5 years old. And we just get along really well. And I'm there not to help in any way I can.
Great. And as you're doing this, we're finding that we have grandparents, people like you,
Mhm.
that are able to now be with other young children, and a woman that needs to learn a little bit about what happens when you grow up to be like you.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Isn't that something that you've done? And how long have you been there?
I'm going on the 3rd year.
Third year. Wow.
Mhm.
Oh, that's great. Well, we're going to come back to that again. I just wanted to know a little bit. We'll find out a little bit about where you lived and where you came from and how
Okay.
you got here, but we'll do that in just a couple minutes. All right.
Okay.
All right. Good. Good.
Nice.
So I want you all to know this, that Alpha and Omega, Marie, the most famous place for Miracle Home, is really doing some new homes. And you're going to see some photos today about what happened and how they're now building these new homes to have other young women and also the ladies that are here, like grandparents, women, and older women, of course. And so I think you'll see some of these pictures. And if you've got some of those on, Blake, that might show the beginning of this, that would be helpful. Then we can start talking about it, and then we'll get back into the details. Okay, so right now you'll see in this building that's happening here that it's so very, very interesting. This was in the newspaper about it when it was first going on, and I think you'll see what goes on next. That's where the new education center will be one of these days, and it's
Yes.
really a beautiful one that you can see, and it just brings out where it'll be right there, where you'll see again. We'll see some houses that are going to pop up on you in just a second. So you'll see that too, where they're going to be. Well, that's a good spot. Let's use that for a second. So that was, if you can see behind the photos there, and I'll tell you who's there. You'll see all of those things where there's going to be some significant amount of homes behind there, as you see where all those are, and we'll talk about why they're there and what happens.
Mhm.
So therefore, what we're doing right now is doing, and that was with Chris Shee and with Lisa Franklin that was there. So they were there that same day when we were doing and going there. So let's see how that plays out in a moment or two. So let's just stop there for a second and give us another kind of conversation about it, and we'll keep this going, and we'll have a lot of other photos that'll come next.
Sounds great.
But I wanted to kind of give you some thoughts as is why are we having to build some more homes? Why are the homes necessary
Right.
for these young women with their children and for the elder? So tell me why you need them.
Well, there's a lot of need for it. First off, there are so many single moms that are in a place of homelessness, or sometimes even sleeping in their cars with their children. And the rise with the seniors is just horrific. If you really look at the data, and it's just it's not affordable for seniors to live on the incomes that they have, which is just basically their Social Security. Maybe it's a widow, or maybe she's living with family, or rent is so high now. And so we're excited that you showed those pictures, because now with the expansion of that, which is so exciting, we're going to be able to house over 100 more residents, which
Wow.
just opens up a whole new world for others to have a place to live and to feel safe. And all these life skill classes, I mean, we're not just about the housing, which is really important, because that's the first and foremost, is that someone feels safe
Right.
and that they feel at home, right?
Sure.
But the other things that we do at Alpha Omega, which I think are just amazing, is that we're able to offer counseling. We're able to offer life skill classes. We have incredible partners and sponsors that helps us afford that for them. So it's not just housing; it is a community where we really do help people heal. And for us to see that and open that up, and for us to break ground like we broke ground, and knowing that that's just the beginning of that expansion, and that we have someone that has become a senior and they're in a place of loneliness and they need community. What an answer this is! What an answer!
Well, I know that
Mhm.
there's been some some involvement with getting them jobs too.
Oh, yeah.
So you might want to talk about that, and then I'll ask you about it, Vicki, as to have you seen them listening and working together with jobs that you're going to be talking about? And we'll do that in just a moment. So tell me a little bit about the jobs that they get, and then what happens to them when they get these jobs. Where do they go then?
Right. Well, at the new building where we have plans for a daycare center there, so that is going to open up jobs for our residents that are already within our program. But right now we have our thrift store, which a lot of our
And
residents.
tell us where that's located.
That is off of 16, and it is one of the best thrift stores. Miss Vicki can tell you all
All right,
about
we'll
it.
get to that with her. Okay.
And all of our residents at one time or another do volunteer there, and some of them actually are employed there. With our young moms, we place them in school as fast as we can. Seniors, depending on when they come in and how where they're at, and what they're capable of doing. But all of them are normally over at the thrift store at any given time, just giving back first off to the community, and also adding more income to their budget.
Okay, we'll talk about that in just a minute about the budget.
Mhm.
So Vicki, tell me a little bit about the thrift store and where that goes, and a little bit about yourself again, about where you came from and how you're here in St. Augustine.
Okay, well, I've been in St. Augustine, about 20 years. My children went through the school system here, and I mainly wanted to come back when I retired because my older son and his wife live here, and I have 4 grandchildren here. And I just wanted to be involved with their lives. I was in St. Louis, and I came down as much as I could, but not in the day-to-day
Right,
activities.
sure. And then how does the thrift store be part of what you do?
Oh, well, when I first came here, I volunteered at the thrift store, and it was a lot of fun. It's a nice atmosphere. The staff is wonderful. They play nice Christian music in the background, and I don't know, it was just a real nice place to work. There's loads of clothing that's donated, and we hang them up, and we price them, and various other jobs. There's electronics. There's so much for volunteers. If anybody wants to volunteer, they always are looking for them.
Well, I know it's in a shopping center. Basically, it has more than just one building there.
Oh,
So tell me about where that is and how many people could, if they wanted to bring their own things, to give it to you all, to be able to give it so that they can sell it to others, to bring money in
Yes.
for them. Tell me the best of you recall of where it's at.
Well, if you take 16
Right,
going toward the interstate,
right. That's from St. Augustine going on 16.
yes, it's on the left, which,
Right, there's a light just before it, isn't
yes,
there? There's a
yes.
Shell station or something that's right there at that tone, or
Oh, by the press. It's right in the same shopping center that the press is in.
there you go. So
And
that-
it's off Collins Road.
there you go. That's what I was thinking it was. So I just wanted you to be able to help this, and because these people are going to want to know if they can be of any help, I want you to know that you can go there, and if you need something, even that, if you need something that you need for your family, there's a great place to get it. And don't be afraid about it. It's a place that has so many things, and it's just there to do it. And as you can share me more about why that money is helpful to this community and for Alpha and Omega.
Well, the thrift store definitely supports the program. That is an absolute truth. But it also gives other people employment there. People that someone else would not hire. So the thrift store does offer that second chance for people that I think is amazing. But pouring back into our program obviously is expensive. But, for the housing and the classes, and we have blessing closets, there's so much that we could just talk about today of all the giftings and things that are there.
Well, I want to share that with you about the blessings, because I've been
Okay.
through that part and I've
Yes.
seen what it's done. But I want to know this. How long do these ladies stay there with their child?
Okay, so our ladies, our moms, young moms that come in, They are a 2-year program, and it is a fast-paced program. And Vicki can attest to it. The minute they come in, that first 30 days, we're getting them acclimated, we're getting them settled in, and our seniors are a big part of that. They welcome them in, they have their homes ready, they even put signs on the door that says welcome home, because this is a very fragile time for these young moms coming in, and what circumstances they are coming from sometimes can be trauma or them sleeping in the back of their car. So our seniors are a big part of that. They lay the foundation for them to come in and feel welcome. And then our case managers and the program, we surround them and we get them on this growth program. And before long, they are working a job. Their children are in daycare. Some of them are in school. And then we also have an incentive for a car program, which are cars that are donated to us and the girls after they reach a certain level. These cars are available to them and even to our seniors. As a matter of fact, we had one for Miss Vicki not too long ago, and it was just a beautiful thing how all that came together. People are so wanting to give. They just need to know where to give, and what needs that these people have. The ones in our program are very thankful for the things that are given to us, because you can just see that because they give back. I mean, they begin to give back.
Now,
And
don't you have some that have graduated and they've gone on to college and did all
Mhm.
this too? So tell me a little bit about that too.
Well, I can speak on the ladies, the young moms that I had, without mentioning their names.
Sure.
They have moved on. One young lady is married. She came to us, and it was a horrific situation that she was in. And I had about 4 girls at that time. She has gone on to graduate. She is married now. She has another child. She went to college. And she is so good. We've also had other girls that have actually gone through nursing school. They are now nursing, being a nurse somewhere. We have other girls that come back and then they want to give back to the community. We see so much success there. It is a proven program that we have, and it works so well, and it brings self-esteem. It brings awareness, first off, of what's really happening right around us. A lot of people don't know that there are struggling seniors. They
Right.
don't know that there are single moms sleeping in their cars. And when we bring the awareness, then that's when people do want to help. Rick.
All
That's
right.
when they want to be part of this
Sure.
journey and healing
Sure.
for people. And then when on the other side of that, you get to see, and we're so thankful that we do get to see that these girls graduate and they come back and you just see their lives just flourish. And we had just a little part of it.
Oh,
Just
that's
a little
great.
part of
That's
it.
great. And
Yep.
Vicky, again, tell me a little bit about when you're there at the house with them, and they get stuff. They can get things to bring back by doing certain things, right?
Mhm.
If they do some work there, if they do some things, if they go to jobs, they go to the schools that they need to go to and do all that. Don't they get some kind of things to help them get further along the way?
Oh, yes. Well, we do have a program where they get these um, alpha bucks,
Yeah.
Right.
and they're like monopoly money, sort of, and they can use it to purchase things at the thrift store. And we have a blessing closet where they can use it to purchase diapers, wipes, and things that would be much more expensive for them if they had to go outright and buy them.
And those are the Alpha Bucks.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I've been in that store as well, and I've seen all those things that they can get, and
Yeah.
it's stuff for their children, and some drinks of cold waters and things like that, and
Mhm.
just
Mhm.
there. So yeah, I've,
Yeah.
I've been there. So it's all good. Yeah. So I was guys were going through it, and I want you all to know this. This is the reason that we're here today, is because we have seen what Alpha and Omega has done over these years. And it started with really with a one time when Lisa was sleeping and had a dream.
Mhm.
And her dream was so great that she would be able to help others.
Mhm.
And you'll learn more about her the more you see her and see what she's done.
Mhm.
And you'll also see that why Alpha Omega has moved on. One of the chairmans of the Alpha Omega earlier on that I knew was now Commissioner Clay Murphy.
Right.
And so he was the chairman. And then there's
Mhm.
one right now who is a pastor and at a church. And
Mhm.
so they have different people there. And you're going to also learn a little bit more. In a minute, I'll be asking those questions about what happens with them if they are pregnant, and what do they do with their child, and how do they then do that if they come in and they're pregnant. So we'll talk about that for a second, and then we'll go on to some more things that I think you'll learn a lot about why Alpha Omega is such an amazing place to bring in where God has led them. And that's a reflection that I've had about it, because as you will hear in a few moments or so, maybe a few more after that, I'll have to be sure what the time will be when this is over today, because I missed out finding out when we started, so and where we stopped. So there we go. We'll figure that out. So all I care about right now is for you to understand that you can have the same reflection with God, regardless of where you are. And that's how it's so important to have this program, for me to be on here with you all and be grateful to God for letting us see what God can do with people who are in love with them. So anyway, let's go, Vicki, back again and talk a little bit about when you're going through all of these things, because you have to make up some documents too, don't you?
Oh, yeah. We stay busy with all of that logistic part of the program.
Well, tell us a little bit about that. Tell us a little bit, because I want them to understand.
Yeah.
This is not just sending somebody in there,
No.
sleeping for the night and doing it. I want to get more detailed so that they see what's going on, because they don't know what I already know.
Right,
Okay.
right.
So I want you to tell them that. So you talk to them for a minute or two.
Okay.
Just do that.
Well, our purpose at Alpha Omega since 1997, our mission has been to break the cycle of poverty. That's the first and foremost. And for us to provide a safe environment for these women coming in, whether it's a young mom, 18 to 28, or a senior that is coming in. That's the first thing, is to establish that safety for them. And once we establish that safety for them, we are that hand up, not necessarily the hand out, because they are valuable and they have purpose. And so we put them quickly into a program. For the young moms, it's different than it is for the seniors. The seniors can stay with us as long as they are able to take care of themselves. So we revitalize lost dignity. We help heal them from trauma through counseling and therapy, which is amazing that our partners and sponsors help us with that. We embrace a mindset of value and worth and experience healthy family and community. How do we do that? We have a proven program. So we have case managers that surround them, keep them in accountability. We keep them on track, that they're looking for jobs. They are goal setting. Even with our seniors, our seniors have exercise programs. They are required to be in some type of volunteer, some further education at all times, because the mind is just always growing. We've learned that, Miss Vicki, right? That you still have purpose, and sometimes that purpose is just within that four walls in our homes, caring and supporting those young moms that come in. Many times we do, as you mentioned, we have mothers that do come in and they are pregnant, and it's probably a very difficult time for them. So if we can get them settled down and settled in so that baby can grow and be healthy during that time. And I attributed that a lot to the calmness of our program and the stability that we have there, and the surrounding of our seniors that are there. Just community. We have so much unity in the community of Alpha Omega. They do potlucks together. They do little events together. So it's not just a program. We're truly a family, if that helps you understand that a little bit more.
It does, and what happens if for some reason that the young lady that's pregnant, that she doesn't want to keep the baby? What do you have available for that?
We do have an extended program for that, and Miss Lisa Franklin could speak more on that. But we do. There is that option for adoption, and I have seen that happen several times within our program. And it is probably the most touching and most precious thing that I have ever seen.
Well, I know that there's a lawyer that I've known pretty well who does a lot of this, named Steve Alexander.
Yes.
And so he has been helping the Alpha and Omega and doing all these when they needed to have an adoption going forward.
Absolutely.
So, so that way they don't have to lose that child.
Exactly.
Either by some abortion or something else.
Right.
And that allows us to see them keep a child alive.
Absolutely. And we're all for that, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's why I do it.
Yes.
So anyway, so you see that again. So Vicki, you now know I have a lot more knowledge about this than you
Yes.
thought I did
Yes,
when
he
you came
does.
in here. So I've been in all the places. And I've known Lisa, and I'm so grateful about her as well and what she's done, and she did it with her property that her mother owned, and so that's
Mhm.
been very interesting
Mhm.
too.
Mhm.
So tell me a little bit about what was just said by Debbie about what you're doing and how that plays out to you with helping these young women when they are pregnant or when they are other things. So
Well, um, I heard a minister speak a while back about our lives are like a clock, like a 12-hour clock,
Mhm.
and I'm at about 10 o'clock.
right.
And I did not want to just drift through the remainder of my life.
Right.
I was living alone in a condo with my cat, and I was a little lonely. And I had worked for Alpha and Omega as a receptionist for a year, so I was very familiar with the program.
Right.
And when there was the opportunity to join, it was like I felt like God was giving me a purpose,
Mhm.
another purpose
Right.
in my life.
Yeah.
And I'm very thankful to be a part.
Yes.
Well, you can see what goes on here. You see what it does to people
Mhm.
who see what they can do in reflecting upon
Mhm.
themselves,
Right.
so that they can say, I don't want to just be alone with a cat. I want to be something that I can be with others,
Mhm.
and to be able to help those others,
Right.
and be able to share the love that God gives you.
Right.
And so those are the kind of reflections that
Mhm.
all of us should have. All of us
Exactly.
should be able to do that. We
That's
should
right.
never be afraid to help those in need at all.
That's right.
So that's kind of where you have to go. So let's move on to another stage of where we're at.
Okay.
We were talking at the very beginning here about the new homes that are being put into place. It's going to take about a year.
Yeah.
They tell me. So we'll see
Yeah.
how it does.
Yeah.
And I know that Chris Shee has been very active, so much so that this has been something that I've seen him do for not only for with Alpha Omega, but they also did it for other nonprofits as well.
Mhm.
So what I'm asking at this point in time is, why were we there that day when you saw those pictures with me and Lisa and with Chris? So tell me why we were there.
We were there breaking ground. We were
Yes.
there breaking ground. It was the grand opening for that.
So
Yeah.
why were you? What was the purpose of being there for that opening?
For the introductory of the new campus.
Okay,
Is that what
did you have anything that you had to carry with you to be there?
Oh wow. Well, see, I wasn't there that day, but I did hear that there were some things that was put in the ground there. Some things, lots of prayer, lots of conversation over that property. Did you remember something specific? Am I missing something here that you guys brought
I
there?
wonder if you saw a cross.
I did. I seen tons of stuff. Amazing pictures of little Jesuses, of cross and of Bibles and things like that were there. And I thought, wow, this is some serious business.
Let's see a couple
Yes.
photos about
Yes.
that, about
Yes.
the when the crosses were then put in.
Yes.
We've got that available. That'll be great, because I think you'll learn a little bit about what was happening that day. I know you'll see some people standing by the crosses.
Yes. I heard that was amazing.
So there's some of the people that were there. That's
Yeah.
just a number of people, but you'll see that there's some others that, again, looking behind. But you'll see one that where they're holding the crosses are right there with them on a table that you might see. And I think we'll find that one out too. And
Mhm.
you can see that.
Wow.
And
Look
see
at
those crosses there. They all got in there so that they could take one and put it on all in any of those places, so that when they put the concrete and all the others on top, that cross will be there forever in
Mhm.
that building.
Right.
And therefore, whatever that happens will be so significant
Right.
for where everybody now knows where God goes. And I think that's really where I suggest that you can take that same path yourself and do it. I just moved into a new home, and I actually put a cross down right where before I would go in that house when it became mine, and put it in the ground right there so that it would be there by me as I go there to be into that house. So that's where it should be with you, is if you reflect upon it a little bit, it's your choice, your choice. You may not have any beliefs in God. You may not have any beliefs in Christianity. You may have no other beliefs except in what you have for yourself. But I want you to think about something. What else are you going to leave when you die? And where are you going to be at that point in time? And so if you don't believe that there's anything beyond that period, that's fine. You can accept that if that's your view. But I can't do that. I was listening to an Elvis Presley song today, and on my way here, and it was called I Believe. Yeah. And if you haven't heard that song by Elvis, you ought to listen to him, because the song is I Believe. I believe the rain that falls. I believe the child that cries. I believe all of those things. But how does it get there to you? What's the reflection that you would have on that? So Elvis, I know you're gone, and I know that you've been so famous around, and a lot of the new singers, a lot of you younger people, if you're watching or listening to this, don't know who Elvis Presley is. But I can tell you this, that he went through everything and became so significant to all of America and also outside the world. So anyway, that's enough for Elvis. Let's move on to something else, and as we get in. In fact, this might be a good time to do the poem I wrote today.
Nice.
And it's one that I am surprised that I did it, because I've been so busy trying to take out all of the boxes that I had to put in to get into the house. And so I will pull that up for you in a second, I think. So let's just see how that plays out here in a second. Here, I'm just too slow for doing things today. So
I think you're moving right along.
No, that's why it's just plain Rick. So you have to understand that. So there we go. So anyway, this one's called Apart from Days and Years. Listening to the wind beyond the horizon and near where once we had been. Empty homes needed now for those homeless ones, as if no one cared except a few. Could this be a dream when building homes for those in need? Could that really be? Listening to God's words that filled my soul with love and joy, when one day the dream would be the real thing. Oh God, your words are deep inside, knowing now everything said was true and faithful, and the dream came from you. We gave you thanks and share your love with women young and old who needed to have a home. Now there will be generations of ones who will let others know that when God leads us on his path, love will always last. Our trust in you, O God, gives me goosebumps from my head to toe when the building blocks are open, sharing love and peace. Thank you, Lord, for all you do while we listen to the gentle winds with dreams apart from days and years, while helping others now and forever. So that kind of was where I was hopeful that this case would be going, but that's where God takes you. So you just take on with that. So let's talk a little bit, since both of you were not there at the time the crosses were.
I was
you were
there.
You were there.
Well, you talk about it then,
Nice.
Vicki. I didn't know that.
Yes.
So that was a
Nice.
question. So
Yes.
yeah, so you tell the folks here a little bit about it.
Oh, well, it was nice hearing from the community leaders about their involvement in this project.
Nice.
And then they shared, and Miss Lisa Franklin shared, and then we had these little crosses available that we were to take and lay on on the foundation and say a prayer. So everybody kind of dispersed all over to different parts, and it was a sweet time.
Oh, that's great. And did you see a lot of people that were there? I think we have some pictures of
Yes.
the people that were
Yeah,
there
there was a good
out there
crowd.
putting stuff on the foundations. If we've
beautiful.
got some of that, that'd be
That's
great
beautiful.
to see as well. So we can finish that up. Well, we saw that one before, but there's some out there where there's a lot of people. That's Lisa speaking, and there's the crosses again, and there's some others. There's that, and I think we got a couple more that'll pop up here in a minute or so. So it's not we're not in a rush today. You know, this is Reflection Day on this Monday,
Yes, right.
and you know, we don't have to rush anything. You just
No.
have to be able to enjoy if it's good, and if it's not, you know, you'll turn us off anyway. So it's okay. It's not a problem. So I would do the same. But we're hopeful that today you get a chance to understand what Alpha and Omega and Miracle Home does for
Mhm.
this community and how it makes things so good. So that's kind of where we're at, and as we go forward. So I don't know where we are on time today because of the time, but we'll continue going forward until
Okay.
I hear from Blake behind us, and he'll say, "Okay, I think we only got 10 seconds
Got 10
left," or
seconds.
whatever it is. So I know he'll tell us. So that's good. All right, so there we go. So as we look at what's going on with Alpha and Omega, I know you work with other nonprofits too.
Mhm.
So tell us a little bit about that. If you know those answers, that would be great.
I don't have the specific
You
answers.
don't have to give us specific,
Okay.
but have you talked with people from other nonprofits that have been working with you as you're doing
Yes,
things? Yes.
absolutely. We
Okay.
have a lot of community involvement, churches and other nonprofits that work with us and sow into Alpha Omega, Miracle Home. Some of them are hands and feet, some of them are financial sponsors. We have some of the churches that is just so amazing. They come over, they do planting, they plants around our community there that we're living in now, which will eventually be turned over to affordable housing, which is another part of Alpha Omega, because that offers, housing for people that don't really qualify so much for our program. So we have so many of those nonprofits that just want to sew in and be there together and partner in this journey. And I heard that from you this morning. I hear it from your heart that you really see the vision of this and how it helps young moms and children and the future of those children, but also that you understand that with our senior women, that they're in that place and how they still have so many gifts and purposes. As you read that poem, it just touched my heart so much because it tells who we are. It just told everything about Alpha Omega, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to cry because I don't have a tissue, but it was just absolutely beautiful. And it just lets us know that there are people like you and here in this community that want to continue to be part of something that is really producing something good and showing love. You know, we got that first phase. We got the first phase that went on, and now we've got the other phases that are coming, which I'm excited about. We are going to have the 4 phases.
Okay, why don't you share that a
We
little
seen
bit?
we seen the first phase that was there, which is going to be our housing. The education center, I'm excited about all of them, but the education center is one that I am holding real near and dear to my heart because I see a lot of the young women that come in and they have such a hunger to want to learn. But just like Vicki was saying, and she used the clock analogy, I kind of use it as our fourth quarter because I'm a football girl. And so I talk about the fourth quarter. I say, we're in our fourth quarter, girls. But you know what? We believe in overtime. If anybody ever seen the Georgia football game championship about 3 years ago, they went in overtime 3 times, and that was a game, and Georgia still pulled it through. I'm a Georgia girl. Sorry, Florida people, but I'm a Georgia girl. But that we went into overtime 3 times, and I talked to the senior women about that. Well, first, we don't call each other senior women, do we, Vicki? We call each other the WOW women because we're women of wisdom. And we know that we are there and placed where we are in our life with these young moms to pour into them our experiences, our love, and to impart hope with them. And I see it every day. There's times with them, it's just very simple things, sharing a meal together, showing them how to run a washing machine. I mean, a lot of these young girls that come in don't know how to do that. Our education center is going to have all kinds of activities that are going to be there. We're going to bring in people from our own community to help and come in and do life skill classes. Our WOW women are going to be doing a sewing center, and hopefully that's going to be something that will pull other people in our community in and our young moms. Also, our WOW women do baking with our girls. I mean, you ladies have so much talent. And listen, I don't let them sit around and just let them sit dormant. I pull it out of them. They do exercise classes. They play cards together. They schedule community potlucks with these girls. It's not just a program, and I hope I get that across today more than anything. We are a family, and we're building even a bigger family. And as you talked about today, it's just bringing in those people that somewhere are misplaced somewhere in life, and we all belong we all deserve to be loved, and we all deserve to feel like someone cares for us. And isn't it wonderful that God placed it in Lisa's heart and gave her that vision? This is a unique program. It's a unique program, but think about how it truly works. We have the older teaching the young, and they're sitting underneath that. And sometimes I know that with the WOW women, they go, well, I'm not sure I'm doing too much. I go, you're just being yourself. And that's the most important thing. They're showing love. They're showing what they believe in. They're sharing their skills, their experiences, and above all of that, they're sharing their testimony.
Right. And
Yeah.
I think one of the things that I've been told about is that they do not have to accept God in their lives,
That's right.
but they will, because they will see what God does.
There's so
And
much love there. I mean, there's just love. When you actually see love in action, it's not just I love you. It is action. You see it. So it's kind of hard to deny that love. Yeah.
well, that's why I wanted to let people know
Hmm.
that people that don't believe in God, that's
Absolutely.
their right.
Absolutely.
They have the rights to do free speech.
Absolutely.
And we've seen a lot of that most recently with the killing of a young man.
Hmm.
And I'm not going to go through those details. Everybody's probably already been listening to it, and it's been
Yes.
terrible. And so, but we have the same thing here today
Yes.
when we're talking about love,
Yes.
because that is who God is. God
Amen.
is love.
Hmm.
And so, because of that, it's very difficult for someone who eventually will understand why they want to be in love with God.
Hmm.
And I think that's the reflection that always makes
Hmm.
the best for
Hmm.
all of that.
Hmm.
And I can share with us a little bit more about some of the things that I've done and where I've been, uh, that relates to this in a
Hmm.
different way, in a
Hmm.
different way.
Hmm.
And I'll talk a little bit about it, and we'll see if that has any meaning
Yeah.
to your reflections and your
Hmm.
reflection, Vicky, in
Hmm.
regards to what this is to you, in regards to your life and where you go
Hmm.
and going on. So I'm going to
Hmm.
be asking that question, but I want to talk a little bit about this. Back in the early 1990s, and that seems like for yesterday is so long ago,
Yeah.
but it's not,
Hmm.
because right now there's still a big fight going on in the towns and cities that I was in Ukraine. And I went there, um, not really thinking I could get there, because I was there with a group from Jacksonville, and as a result of that, there was just a few of us, and we were asked to be part of where we were going, and we ended up being there with a whole bunch of people from around the world to be able to help teach them ethics and to let them know that the best ethics, because it had just been the fall of communism when I was there, and it became their own country. But in the course of that, I was able to have a lady that I still am in contact with that had young children. And I've now known those young children that are now in ways of helping others in Christianity. And not only the lady that I came with, that became my person, that I was supposed to be always with God, of be the second person, because I always like to be the first, and I don't want to be the first. I always want to be the last. And you'll see that what happened with her is that she has continued to be there, and when she came out for a while, she still was teaching for Christian schools. And so she went back even while they're bombing the place. And she didn't have to do that because she knew of her children and what they learned while she was there. She was a teacher. And so what we're reflecting on today is very similar to what the world is reflecting on. What happens to these wars where children are involved that get killed for no reason? So that is for today, just something for you to think about. You don't have to remember it. You don't have to do that. But if you have a moment where you're in a time of silence, just think about what the little children do. Because I'll tell you this, Jesus said, bring the little children to me.
Amen. Yeah.
So anyway, so that gives me that. So tell me your reflections on what you've been doing and working there at Alpha and Omega, and how that reflected upon you as an individual, not as your professional work,
Right.
but your individuality
Right.
as to what it reflects into your heart and soul.
You know, I've been asked that question. People ask me why I'm so passionate about those that are homeless. And because I was homeless as a teenager and I was left alone. I slept in my car as a teenager. And my mom died when I was 15 years old. And my dad, I didn't know where he was, but he returned to me later and I was able to take care of him in his old age. And I am so thankful for that time. But I relate so well to the loneliness and not knowing who to turn to. And it was many, many, many years ago. I'm 65 now, so it was many years ago. But, you know, from the time I was 15 until the time I got married at 19, I was homeless. I did get a job when I was about 16, 17 years old, and I was able to rent a room with a mattress on the bed, and I was on the floor, and I was thankful for that. So there's so much that I see that's within this program. Of these girls coming in, and that feeling, you never forget that feeling. You never forget that fear of sleeping in the back of that car. You never forget that feeling of being hungry. So you never forget it. So, you know, that's my passion about it, is knowing that we can, and I'm part of something so amazing and people that genuinely care. And it's not just that handout, it is that hand up, because we still want to help them people have integrity and know that they are valued, that they know they have worth. And that's, you know, for me to impart that to our WOW women, our seniors there. God, he's not done with you yet. You've got so much still to give. And when these young women and what we call it connecting the generations, and I believe that. And when we're able to connect these generations, I think we're fulfilling something way bigger than us. And you said it.
Yeah.
We're fulfilling something, and we're protecting the innocent, which is so important, those little children.
Well, Vicki, I want you to get into tell me your story and what you reflect upon by being there, and why you've already said that why you wanted to be there, because you were alone with just your cat. So I know that, but that's okay. And you would see your children, your grandchildren, and things from time to time. But again, I've got young grandchildren. They're not as young as you've just described, but I have some, and yesterday I happened to be with one of them for the whole day.
Yeah.
He was helping me put these boxes in on this new house that I just bought, and for me it was new. It wasn't new when it was built, but it was new, and so I had that whole day with him.
Yes.
And I could never forget that, and so. I love being with him. It was so good, and you really get a chance to see what they think about when you tell them certain things, and they don't know about you, they don't know what you've done,
Yes.
and all of that. So tell me about yourself on reflecting on what's going on.
Well, I think it's interesting that you talk about the children and their future. I think as a grandma, I hope I'm influencing my grandchildren in a very positive way. And I think about the children that we're involved with at Alpha and Omega, and we may never see them again
Right.
after they grow up. But we've been able to be one that pours love into them.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that's
So that reflects on you as to why you're there.
yes.
Yeah, that's really good. So I guess that is there any other things that you want to talk about from? I know you've got some other things that are here and things as well.
Gosh, there's so much you could
Well,
say, right, about it. Uh-huh.
go back and give a
Okay.
very short discussion of what it is about Alpha and Omega,
Hmm.
so that as we're
Okay.
finishing up here on reflections, that you have a chance to be able to tell them
Right.
what the key issues are
Right.
and what it's important to have people do in order to be able to help them help you.
Okay, sounds great. Well, we are absolutely on a mission at Alpha Omega Miracle Home with women that are 18 to 28 and they're single with children. And if they're finding themselves in a situation where they're homeless or lonely or in a trauma type situation, we want to welcome them into Alpha Omega. Also, with our seniors, women that are 60 and older and find themselves in a lonely place or a financial place or even homeless. We want to also welcome them in as we expand. We also want to invite partners in and sponsors in because none of this could happen without you. We pull together here in this community of St. John's, and we even go outside of the counties here of St. John. Connecting these generations, I believe, is one of the biggest things that is a calling on people's life. And coming together, it takes community. It's never just one. So at Alpha Omega Miracle Home, we welcome you to come by, visit, see what we do. We're not just a program; we're truly a community. We do have a big event that's coming up, and I'm excited about that. That's the Blue Jean Bash. You are welcome to come to that. You can call the office if you want information. The number there is 904-823-8588, or you can visit our website at AOM Alpha Omega Miracle Home, AOMH.org. I love Alpha Omega. It's near dear to my heart, and I love seeing what is happening there and the transformations of lives. It just speaks how strong we are when we work together for the better cause.
All right, and Vicki, I want you to kind of give me your last discussion about why you came here today to be on this part of the 904 Now to be here for Sunday Reflections. What was that allowed you to make that decision?
Well, I just enjoy being a part of the community. It's giving my life much more purpose. And I just wanted to share that I agree with the mission. I support the mission, and I'm just glad to be a little part of it.
All right. Well, that's very nice. And so I want to just be very, very kind to all of you that this was probably something you never thought about. But I think now that you've learned a little bit about what's happening here in Alpha and Omega Miracle Home, you'll understand why we're doing a Sunday reflection. God bless, and we'll see you next time. And hope you, again, had good times with the music this past weekend, and that you're moving forward to do the things that enjoy you. But remember this, God is always with you.